Here we presents the top 5 best 4K camera. Starting of our listed number 5. Nikon D800 50fx format. As a high-resolution multi-purpose DSLR, the Nikon D800 50 is more or less a direct rival to the Canon EOS 5D Mark IV. It does, however, offer both higher resolution and, via an optional battery grip, higher continuous shooting speeds. Its advantage for video is that it captures full-width 4K video with no crop factor, so your lenses have the same angle of view for video as they do when shooting stills. Another advantage is that it can output clean 4:2 to 8-bit 4K video to an external recorder, while the external output on the EOS 5D Mark IV is restricted to Full HD. There are no log modes, which is a pity, and the D800 50 relies on contrast detect AF when shooting video, which slows things down a little. The video quality itself is very good indeed, though with moderate rolling shutter if the camera is moved too quickly. For a long time, professional photographers have faced a blunt choice. You can get a camera with great resolution, like the Nikon D810, Canon EOS 5Ds or Sony A7R II, but no real speed, or you can get a high-speed specialist like the Nikon D5, EOS 1DXi or Sony A9, but you then have to compromise on resolution. Maybe you even end up having to buy one of each. We haven't forgotten the Sony A99II, but Sony's Alpha SLT system has yet to establish itself as a viable, forward-looking proposition for pro photographers. For more information and price, check out the product links and description underneath the video. Coming in at number 4 of our list, Sony A7R. Sony has carved out something of a reputation amongst videographers with its full-frame mirrorless cameras. The A7SII is arguably the most video-centric of the A7 series models, but it's also the oldest and strongly tipped for an update anytime soon, and we don't yet know any more about the long-rumored Sony A7000, so we've selected the A7R II for this comparison, offering as it is practically the best of all worlds for both stills and video shooters. With a 42.4 MP sensor, it offers the second highest stills resolution of all the cameras on test here, and can capture either full-frame 4K video or 5K oversampled video in its cropped Super 35mm mode, which Sony says offers the best picture quality. HLG mode is included, plus S-Log2 and S-Log3 modes for higher dynamic range capture. The color rendition is very good, but while the full-frame 4K is useful for avoiding lens crop factors, we'd go for the sharper Super 35mm crop format. Of course, it was bound to happen. We knew Sony had the technology to combine high resolution with high frame rates from the moment it launched the Alpha A99II, and then Nikon announced the D800 50, which pulled the same trick. For a long time pro photographers have had to choose cameras designed for resolution or for a speed, but this is the latest of a new breed of camera that can deliver both. Halfway of our listed number 3, Olympus M5 Mark III. When it comes to cameras with 4K video, Olympus has not built quite the same reputation as that of other Micro Four Thirds camera maker Panasonic, but its Olympus M1 Mark II still offers some powerful video tools for still shooters. It can shoot both 4K UHD, 3840x 2160, and Cinema 4K video at 30 or 24 FPS, and with a maximum bitrate of 237 megabits per second, which is pretty good for a consumer-orientated crossover camera. It also benefits from Olympus's 5-axis in-body stabilization system, which works alongside the optical stabilization in certain newer Olympus lenses. The Zuiko Digital ED12-100 mm1 4.0 Pro is the perfect partner for this camera, combining an effective 24-200 mm focal range with a constant f/4 maximum aperture and its own inbuilt stabilization to provide a combined stabilizing effect of up to 6.5 stops. The Olympus captures crisp, clear and natural-looking video with only slight rolling shutter effects, but it's harder to get cinematic depth of field with the smaller Micro Four Thirds sensor size. The old Olympus M10 Mark II comes first in our list of top travel cameras, and Olympus says it will continue for now alongside this new Mark II version, which is really more of an update and a refresh rather than a brand new camera. Dated number 2 of this list. Panasonic Lumix DC GH5S. Panasonic has made 4K crossover cameras its specialty, but with the GH5S it's gone a step further, sacrificing outright resolution for high-end video features. The 10MP sensor dents its appeal for stills photography, but it's ideal for 4K, especially as this is a multi-aspect sensor. This allows it to shoot in both the 17:9 Cinema 4K and 16:9 4K UHD aspect ratios, in addition to regular 3:2 and 4:3 stills ratios, without the focal length changing as you alternate between these. Uniquely amongst crossover cameras, it can capture 4:2 to 10-bit video internally to suitably fast SD cards. The GH5S also comes with Panasonic's Vlog mode pre-installed for extra dynamic range, and while most rivals have a maximum 30 minutes recording time, the GH5S supports unlimited recording. Performance is first-rate, capturing great clarity, contrast and color straight out of the box. For videographers, the GH5S specs are sensational, though it's only when you drill down into the technical details that the difference between this and regular cameras that shoot 4K video start to become apparent. And coming in at number 1 of our list, Fujifilm XH1. The XH1 is Fujifilm's top APS-C-based X-mount camera, and the first in the Fujifilm X range to feature in-body stabilization, which works alongside the optical image stabilization in many Fujifilm lenses. The XH1 can capture both UHD 4K and DCI 4K video, with a bitrate of up to 200 mbs and an F-Log gamma option. It also comes with a new Eterna film simulation mode, which can be used with the camera's 400% dynamic range setting for up to 12 stops of dynamic range and less grading work compared to log modes. There is a crop factor when shooting 4K video, but it's relatively small at 1.17x. With crystal clear footage both indoors and out, what it lacks in high-end video specifications is made up for by out-of-the-box 4K quality. In our tests, this 4K camera gave the best results with the least effort. Some might be disappointed that the XH1 appears as little more than a modest upgrade over the X-T2, but Fujifilm's changes are aimed squarely at professionals, and these revisions tick the few remaining boxes that the X-T2 left unchecked. It's tougher and more substantial than the X-T2, while the optional grip makes it a true sports camera. The new in-body stabilization alone is enough to justify the modest premium over the X-T2. It's been some time since we've had a fresh line of cameras from Fujifilm, whether it's a standalone range or a sub-series within an existing stable. The last one was 2016's medium format G system, which still only contains one member, the GFX50S. This makes the arrival of the XH1, a camera that will sit above the current flagship X-T2 and X Pro 2 models in the X range, particularly noteworthy. For more information and price, check out the product links and description underneath the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel, share this video and hit the like button.